What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Panda here, and it's been a while since I've uploaded on YouTube because I had a lot of life changes happen and I just couldn't really make it work. But I have found a game that I've been invested in for a long period of time. You can actually see it playing just above me, around me, whatever you want to say. And it's a game that I really never thought I was going to play. To be honest, the only reason I started playing it was because I got an offer in another game that gave me free stuff in the other game that I was playing at the time, and that is Raid Shadow Legends. I'm sure everyone in the mobile game or gacha community knows about this game because it is literally everywhere in ads. And a lot of people say that it has a terrible reputation because it's not a good game, a lot of people say. I would say otherwise, though, and that is why I have returned to YouTube to give this another try to see how this game goes. I've been really invested into the game. It's been so much fun to play. I've decided to give it another try and kind of see how this whole YouTube thing goes. So don't be afraid to hit that like button and that subscribe button down below so that you can follow my raid journey. And also, if you just want to be a cool guy or girl and hang out, it would be really awesome. But today, I just want to kind of walk you through my account and show you where we're at so that you can see the progress as I keep progressing through the game. So we went ahead and we actually just finished a spider run. Which, as you can see here, consists of this team here. It relies on Geo and Vizier basically being my AoE HP burn. Geo places it on the big spider and Vizier spreads it to the little spiders. And then we just survive through Rosh cards, unblockable or block damage rather, and Cold Heart does turn meter reduction, and that's pretty much how we beat this dungeon. So there is the first team that you're going to see throughout this. The second team that I'm going to show you is actually my Dragons team, which you'll see here is about a minute long. And it is a poison explosion comp. I got really lucky with the champions that I pulled early on. So I've actually been able to farm Dragon 20 pretty much since I came back to the game, and it's been very successful so far. Having that Kymar and that Elenaro really makes this team pop. The other champions on it are relatively interchangeable with other poisoners, but the poisoners I do have I think are also very powerful, and that is Taurus here, who places 4 poisons. As you can see, he's only level 40, so he actually works really well with very little investment. He's literally just fast enough to go in the turn order with just enough accuracy in order to land all of his poisons. Not a lot of investment into him. And then we have Venomage over here on the right, who places poison and also places a heal reduction and has a really powerful passive that makes it so that my whole team takes less damage whenever that heal reduction is active. So it makes it a little bit more survivable. As you can see here, we don't take a lot of damage from the dragon's breath when he comes back down. And as you can see, the team is very fast. It is pretty reliable, just a little over 1 minute on almost all of our runs. And it's very powerful. And then we have Scartorsis here in the middle. He is literally just there for a little bit of heals and debuff removal, but he's mainly there for the speed lead. As I said, this account has been working on this dungeon pretty much since I came back to the game, and so my speeds are not quite there to be able to do this dungeon without Scartorsis, but it's still a little over a minute clear. It's about a minute and 10 on average, which is pretty good in my opinion. Then we have my most recent team here, which is actually the Fire Knight Castle team that I kind of built randomly, which is this team here. It's a little bit longer. It's about 3 minutes, but it's a Fire Knight 20 clear, and to be honest, 3 minutes is a pretty good time frame for these dungeons, especially when you're not using a speed team like with my dragon team, or an AoE HP burn for the spider, which those teams tend to go pretty quickly. But Fire Knight is a whole different ball game, requiring multiple hits in order to get rid of a shield, and this team does it very well. But I don't have key champions like Allure in order to make it so that the Fire Knight never takes another turn. So it's a little bit longer. There is a little bit of RNG. You'll see here that my Cold Heart on the right will die several times, and that's what Syl the Drakes is for. She is there to res that Cold Heart so that she can come back into the battle. She is one of our main basic attack champions that's going to get rid of that shield on the Fire Knight. But as you can see here, there's very minimal investment into some of these champions. Our Lanatharl, which was probably one of the worst fusions that Raid has seen this year, from what, you know, other people have said, but I decided to go for him because it's a champion that'll help me in faction wars. It's a champion, it's legendary, right? And even though it's not the best fusion, I considered it to be a very good fusion, and now I 100% think it was a great decision because my Scarab King for Doom Tower has gotten easier than running with just a solo Vergis. It's a little bit faster, and also he makes it so that I can do Fire Knight 20. I mean, could I use someone else? Probably, but this is the guy right here that really made this team pop. The team I was using before consisted of almost these same champions. The only changes were Syl the Drakes in replacement of a Mausoleum Mage and a Lanatharl in replacement of Seer, because I just wasn't quite able to get through the Fire Knight's shield on this last phase here with a Seer team. But this team works beautifully. As you can see, we get lots of damage. We have very necessary debuffs such as heal reduction. We also have speed down from Syl the Drakes. It is a low chance of landing, but when it does land, it's perfect. And we also have some survivability built in with Syl the Drake's passive, as well as the shield from Lanatharl. The Lanatharl doesn't have any masteries, not level 60, and also is not booked. Syl the Drake's is also not booked all the way. Ghostborn is booked because I used him as a nuker, and I wanted to make sure I had that 100% defense down. And then we have Kymar here, who is not booked because I mainly use him for PvP, and the PvE content that I do have used him for in the past, which is Dragon. He only needs to reset once in order to get that dungeon done, so getting that cooldown on his reset wasn't super important for me, and being a really low spender account, you know, you got to be careful about how you invest things. But this is the team so far. As you can see, it is going very smoothly. We actually haven't even had too many deaths on our Cold Heart. I think this is probably one of the best, you know, runs that we can get. There are some runs that are a little bit faster, but this run is just enough survivability that it's a pretty average run, about a little over 3 minutes. But this is kind of like the bulk of what you're going to do in this game. You're going to be farming these dungeons. You're going to be doing those kinds of things. If you like this game, you can always download it. I'll put a link to downloading it in the description below. You guys can check it out. It is a lot of fun. As you can see, it is a gacha game. There are summons involved. You do spend these shards in order to pull champions. But there are special events, like one event that's actually going on right now, which is a 2x chance of legendary champions on a sacred shard, which can only give you epics and legendaries. So it takes it from a 6% chance to get a legendary champion to a 12% chance. There is also a mercy system built in. Once you get to certain numbers of shards, you do get percent increases. It's very small. You'll see that, like, you'll go 25, 30 sacred shards sometimes without pulling anything, but then sometimes you'll get one legendary after another, you know, and there's a lot of gain when that happens. But I will say, this game is a lot of fun. I'll show you my full account here. This is pretty much the majority of the champions I have built up. I just recently pulled this guy here, Genbo. He's a great arena nuker. In fact, let's go ahead and show him off in the arena. We'll see if we can find a battle that we can potentially win here. We'll go ahead and just go against this. We should be able to win this, as long as we don't get outsped, which is possible. We're not super fast. We're fast enough for most things, but some things we're not. But you'll see here that there is a lot of really cool champions in the game that do a lot of very fun things. And ultimately, it's just a really good game. I really enjoy it, and I'm excited to be making content for it. So like I said before, if you like hanging out with me, you want to see more videos by me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It makes this video, get out there. I'm also going to be working towards raid content creator. Technically, I already actually have the requirements for a tier 2, which is only 2,000 subs and an average of 7,000 views a week, which that's the only thing that I really need. So I'm going to be posting videos for probably a couple weeks, and then I'll go ahead and apply for that. Once we get that, we'll be able to get giveaways for the channel, which is going to be really cool. So if you're starting out fresh, or you're a player from a long time ago, you'll be able to get some gems. I think there's some shards in those packs from what I've seen from other content creators. It's a nice little boost to a brand new account, or a nice little boost for a free-to-play, or even someone who spends it. Means you can spend a little bit less money. But yeah, I'm going to be doing videos on the early to mid game, I think, because there's a lot of people that don't really focus on that stuff, and I think that would be really cool to have a channel that allows for the early game. A lot of the times you'll see these content creators with fully built accounts build a champion, and they're like, yeah, this is what the champion's capable of. And although that may be true, maybe you as a new player don't have access to that. Now, of course, there are people, that do have free-to-play series that will do it, with budget builds. And I think that those are very helpful. I follow several of those, and they're definitely very helpful. But I think that seeing it from an actual main account will be even better. But guys, that is going to do it for me today. I just wanted to give you like a short little synopsis of what my account looks like and what I'm kind of planning on doing. Please, like I said before, I know this is the third time I've said it, but it's really important. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and if you liked this video, hit that little thumb. It really helps out the channel. Don't forget to check the description. There'll be a link to some of my sponsors. There'll be a link to how to download this game, as well as a link to my Twitch account, which we may stream on occasionally. I actually did an impromptu stream a couple days ago. That was really fun. We got a couple new followers. We even got a few subs. It was really awesome, and it was a lot of fun. So maybe we'll do that again. We'll kind of have to see. But that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you liked it. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.